Hello, everybody. This is not book club. Do not be confused. Do not be concerned. White Whale Alec is doing some traveling and so is unable to do our show tonight. And so we are taking a break. And I thought, what better way to take a break than to jump into a book that I have been super passionate about that I think is entirely underrated, and all of its sort of prequels, sidequels, and other formations. So I threw out a little question on my Instagram asking people, is anybody caring about this as much as I am? And of course, these two guys and I have been talking on and off over the last few months, just over and over again, about how much we like it. I'm joined by Chad, 90 miles from comics, and Jason, Comics Misexplained. Gentlemen, let's go. Chad, how you doing, brother?
Yo, what is going on? Thank you for having me, John. I am super excited to be here and talk Old Man Universe. Definitely one of the best things happening in comics that's not being talked about, and that's my thing right now. Talking about runs that should be talked about that no one's talking about. So I'm super excited to be here, and just so everyone knows, YouTube is 90, just in case you forgot real quick.
I jump into chats and I shout that out. I still don't know what it means. I'm assuming it's a wrestler's reference that I'm just too out of touch to understand.
Yes, it is a reference to one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Chris Jericho, because when he was first brought onto Raw, he used to go, "Raw is Jericho." So that's where I kind of pulled that from. So YouTube is 90. Awesome. Yeah, and Y290 would be my wrestling comic book gimmick that we have going on. I love that whole thing that has spun off on that, and everyone taking on wrestling personas, man. It's so cool.
Man, there's a lot of wrestling fans in this community.
We need to contact like the WWE comic makers and make like old WWE universe, like Old Man WWE, like Old Man Jericho, Old Man, all those guys, dude.
Bro, how awesome would that be, right? So cool. I mean, Jericho's like, he's getting up there now. He is Old Man Jericho now. He's living that out as we speak, man. You know, because that was like my childhood.
Those guys, it's hard living being a wrestler, man.
For sure.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the wear and tear on the body that those guys get through.
Old Man Hogan.
Oh, that's perfect.
So we have also here, obviously, like you guys just saw, Comics Misexplained, my Comic-Con Unlimited brother, Jason, man. This is like all night long with you.
Dude, all night long, bro. Back-to-back shows. I love it, man. Let's do it more often, man. I'm stoked to be here.
Hoping that your phone lasts.
Yeah, dude. Man, the iPad that I used to stream like died a couple hours ago. I plugged it in. It died again. And then I'm like, you know what? We're going mobile. So now we're probably 50%. I don't know. I have no idea how much battery life I have now. So we'll see.
Well, I'll throw out the chat here for you so you know who is rocking the chat. If they say anything to you.
Man, I can't see the chats on my phone, man. Like, bummer. I love interacting with the chat, man. I love all you guys, man.
Yeah. Well, I got you on this tonight. I got you.
Thanks, homie.
I put the links to their channels in the description so you can check out what they're doing. These guys are awesome. You can check out all the cool shows that they do. And then, you know, hey, if you want to sub them up, give that a go. Wingnut, I Got Issues, and Chris Barrett, huge supporters of my channel, and super awesome to see them here right off the bat. Rod Just a Rican, who was on the Comic-Con Unlimited tonight. Thank you. Of course, TJ the Slab Dragon is in the house. Jeff Eunice is in the house. Ed D Comics. Let's see. I got Nobody, No One is here. Old Men Falling Asleep Already. They're making a lot of jokes about how we're late. Old men being late. It's blaming me. Although TJ is mentioning that he might be the oldest one here. I'm definitely the old one on pretty much every show I'm on, so I appreciate you not throwing me under the bus. Alex not here, so John's late again. Gee, many Christmas. I'm getting roasted in this chat. Blasted or Stash It Comic Show is here. Thanks for coming in, guys. That's awesome. Bueller is here. Hello, welcome. And Jack Yo is in here. Thank you all for coming.
Good crowd, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Super. I know there's a lot of good shows on Wednesdays. It is a busy night, so I appreciate you taking the time out to come join me and these awesome guys. I will say, Old Man Hawkeye and Old Man Quill will get to second. They are two of the most underrated comics. If you haven't read them, you should definitely do that. And somewhere towards the end of tonight, we are going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away I think Chad's going to help me out with this. We're going to give away the first two trades I should say, that make up Old Man Hawkeye. So someone in the chat, you get a chance to win. If you've never read Old Man Hawkeye, you're going to get to read it. And we will Amazon Prime that to you because I found that they're cheaper there than at my LCS. So I'm going to buy them there and just put in your email or your address, and boom, you're going to have those in 2 days because I'm priming you.
That's awesome, dude. They're in for a treat, man. If they've never read before, oh, so good.
It's hugely underrated and underrepresented in this community, in my opinion, and I think you guys have said similar things. For anybody who is completely unmanned or unold-manned in any way, this universe starts real strong in a run in the Wolverine comic book known as Old Man Logan. And it was a short run that ended with a king-sized annual kind of issue. I think it was like 7 issues, and it's sort of a Mad Max-like future where the United States, or primarily just North America as a whole, has been sort of destroyed by the supervillains who have teamed up and sort of wiped out superheroes. And in that story, you get a road trip across the United States and get a chance to kind of glimpse what it looks like if the villains had sort of taken over. And the heroes in that story are a blind Old Man Hawkeye and a Logan who sort of refuses to unsheath his claws. He's become sort of pacifist.
And he doesn't even refer to the name Wolverine.
No.
Like, and every time someone tries to call him, he's like, I don't
Logan.
go.
It's Logan.
Yeah. Every single time, bro. And that was one of my favorite parts about that.
And I've heard people describe it as Unforgiven in the Marvel universe.
Oh, totally.
And I think it's a great comparison. You know, I think you have this older gunslinger, Wolverine character who is basically giving it up, but sort of forced through circumstance to get back in a small way. And little by little, you watched him peel away to who he originally was. And it's powerful. It's well done. I will say one of the worst parts about it is everything from there until Old Man Hawkeye comes along. Marvel, in my opinion, kind of shit the bed on this one and basically decided the best part about that original story was Old Man Logan himself. So they plucked him out of this amazing universe and dropped him into our timeline primarily. And for the last, almost 5 years or so, he's been bumming around as an X-Man.
Yeah. After the Old Man Wolverine story, they did the death of Wolverine. So they're like, well, we need a Wolverine. If people love Wolverine, let's bring Old Man in. And it's like, why? He's fine as Wolverine, but that's not why people liked Old Man Wolverine was for Old Man Wolverine. They liked it because the world that Old Man Wolverine was in.
For sure. Because they set up a phenomenal world. And if you even look at that world before you even get to the world that you're in with Old Man Quill, you know what I'm saying? You only get certain glimpses of what happened with those changes. And as fans of this world, we would love to see more of that, because things just get mentioned that you're like, oh, okay, so that happened. And things just kind of get handed over real quick. Yeah. And anyone that has read any of these know what I'm talking about. I don't want to
I think the best part about it, like you're saying, is that they don't explain everything in this universe. They don't explain where that one or this one hero is. You get little glimpses. You don't know exactly how it all went down. In fact, Old Man Logan does a great job of kind of slowly letting you find out why Wolverine's gone full pacifist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you find out,
that was amazing.
Yeah.
When you find out why, you're just like, my God.
You totally understand why he dropped the name Wolverine.
For sure.
Just wants to forget about it and just go by Logan. New start, you can tell, that's why, man. Everything makes sense, and it's so cool through all these series, through all these Old Man series and stories. You see, you get little tidbits and little answers, as you read them. New issues come out, you said, oh, that's why that happened. Oh, that's why this is like that. Yeah. And it's every issue is something new, a new learning experience, man. It fills in the holes. It's great.
And for sure, it just gives layers.
Taking that universe away and only keeping Logan was a huge mistake. And before we went live, I was talking to Jason, and I was saying what Ethan Sachs, the writer of Old Man Hawkeye, I didn't say Old Man Hot Guy, Bear Island. the writer of Old Man Hawkeye and Old Man Quill has done a great job of sort of saying, what's really great about this run, this original Old Man Logan run? This place. And let's just explore that as much as we can. I'm not going to give you all your answers, but I'm going to give you little pieces, and you're going to love it.
Bro, it feels so much like the Old Man Logan run, even though he didn't write it. And that's the crazy part to me. And the moment, Old Man Hawkeye finished and I heard about Old Man Quill, even though you got I mean, I guess that's not really spoiled. Nothing was even mentioned that in any comic. But the moment I saw it was Old Man Quill, I'm like, all right. But then I saw the writer, I'm like, oh, for sure.
Yeah, dude,
I'm in.
Same. At first, I was like, I'm not going to read that. Then, like, by Ethan Sachs, I'm like, oh, I'm in.
Oh, yeah. And,
Dude,
a lot of people were like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm like, no. If you read Old Man Hawkeye, you need to be and if you didn't read Old Man Hawkeye, then you need to read this because I can guarantee you it's going to be just as good. He's done a great job. Like, I think just continuing that world, and that, like you said, John, it's everyone's favorite part is this wasteland, type place.
Yeah. Like I as soon as I finished reading the Old Man Wolverine stuff, like that's when Old Man Hawkeye was about to come out, just coincidentally.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, I'll check this out. Like, different writer, but like I like that world and universe. And then I started reading, like, oh, this is like a prequel. It's like what happened.
One of my favorite parts, yeah.
Yeah, so it totally fills in some more answers about how he got there to Old Man Wolverine in the original. Yeah. And then now you got Old Man Quill that takes place after Old Man Logan. So it's so cool seeing like this trilogy set up in different time periods, man. It's great.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Old Man Hawkeye, like Jason is saying, is the prequel. They decided to go back and show you how Hawkeye finally loses his vision because he is completely blind for the Old Man Logan story. And so we get his sort of last adventure as a sightseeing Avenger and kind of the circumstances that led to him being put on this goal where he goes to find Logan in the original story. He has a lot of secrets of his own, and we see that in the Old Man Logan story. But what I liked about Hawkeye was even blind, and it's true in Old Man Logan, but even blind, this guy is a huge threat.
Oh, he's a badass, dude. It's so awesome. It's ridiculous.
And they're giving you all these great hints. So in certain parts of Old Man Logan, you get to see certain villains, whether it's the alien symbiote, in a different form than you've ever seen them. And what Hawkeye does as a prequel is show you how that might have gotten to where it is. Was there any moment for you guys in Old Man Hawkeye? Because we're going to spend a little time now on Old Man Hawkeye, and then we're going to finish with Old Man Quill, which dropped its 5th issue today. So for those of you that are thinking about joining in on reading some of this, you can either get the trades like we're going to give away a little later, or you can go get those first 5 issues of Old Man Quill. I will tell you that on New Comic Book Day, all 5 issues were on my shop's shelf. You could easily have gotten all 5 in a set on New Comic Book Day. So your shop might totally still have all 5.
And if they do, pick them up.
Do it. Yeah. You will love this read, even if it's just for the reading, which, by the way, is the goal of reading comics in the first place. But even if you buy it just for the reading and not for like flipping one day.
Yeah. And if it's your first time if it's your first time in the Old Man world, you don't even really need to read the other stuff. It does help, and it gives you more of importance of why things are happening. But you can just go and jump in, on Old Man Quill. It's still really enjoyable and really cool. Just understand that it's a world where the bad guys rule. That's all you need to know.
Brad Hess Art said the Vulture started out all this Old Man Vulture with Old Man Vulture.
The Vulture was the OG.
The original, the OG Old Man. So if you guys look back and think back to Hawkeye, Old Man Hawkeye, this run that just ended just last year, is there a part of it or an arc in it that you were like really was the thing that drew you in or really made you like, damn, this is cool?
As soon as they announced Baron Zemo was the bad guy, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I love Baron Zemo, and it was cool seeing. I didn't expect him to be the main bad guy, pretty much. I didn't know what to expect. Dude, that cover's so awesome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Zemo. And the fun thing is, like, these guys are not the same, right? The heroes, the villains, whoever we run across in this world, they're not the ones that we knew from before. They're different. And seeing how they're different was for me, yeah. And Zemo is a great villain.
And Zemo was probably one of the perfect examples of that, because by the time you actually get to him in the comic, like, you're expecting one thing, and it's a completely other thing.
Great reveal.
And I don't, like... I mean, I know we're trying to keep the spoilers to minimum so that way we can convince the people to go read this because you should. But once again, like, good call on bringing Zemo in. And I'll say this. Honestly, after I read the first issue, if I wasn't sold before, I was completely sold in because I love the way they took Bullseye and just that whole thing, like the way it was like in true like Western feel style, especially in this one. Like if you didn't feel it in the one before, forget about it. Like right off the bat, this one felt like to me, and you have the whole Marshall and everyone calling him that, and how he just has like free range to do whatever the hell he wants.
Pure Western,
bro. And then who he's reporting to, like, and then decides to like, you know what? I'm not about this anymore. Like I'm on my own like mission to do what I got to do. But I think one of my favorite parts about
there's that like just badass cover. I mean, there's several. I mean, even the final issue with Bullseye looking all badass. I almost wish they had released it. I mean, I'm sad about Stan Lee, and I love that they did that. But I want to just see the virgin cover of this.
Totally.
Oh, right.
I love how he's like toy Western, has a mustache and like the bowler hat.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I do love about that issue 12, though, because the way issue 11 ends and the way that one opens up, and then that was the memorial one, and how like it was like, I thought that was cool.
It was very fitting.
In the Old Man Wolverine, it was cool because it showed like what happened to Wolverine and how he changed and like why he changed. And then in this Old Man Hawkeye, it showed like the battle of how the world came to be like that. You know what I mean?
And like, it showed his like road to redemption because things happened in his life that he was not happy or proud of, that he felt like, happened because of him. So he felt like that's my favorite part of the story is him. Like he's got a list,
dude. He's a hitman. Old Man Hawkeye's a hitman. He's going down the list, dude.
Bro, and he's checking off the list, bro. And every time he gets to the next person, I'm like, yes. Like, how is this one gonna look?
This looks so savage, dude.
And I think because they're not hindered by continuity, right? They're not worried about how this. This is like the classic Elseworlds kind of thing, right? Where they're able to just be like balls to the wall. We're going to kill some people and it's going to get grisly. We're going to just do this, right? And I think that's the most bitchin' part about it for me is just watching them decide how far they can just push that button. So the Old Man Logan showed us a little bit of what happened with the X-Men and kind of Wolverine. This one definitely is more of an Avengers look. And that issue that they were just talking about, issue 7, where we get to see how come the Avengers didn't stop this problem.
That battle
is a wild eye opener.
And then you get to see, the main villain play his why I guess he's the main villain in this run, and this is 45 years before the time that we're at now. So this is 45 years of Old Man Hawkeye just thinking, dwelling, and just trying to get redemption, and that's the best part about it, I think.
Several old man jokes going on in the chat. Old man, see, Brett, the Marvel prune juice world, the geriatric Marvel universe, nobody's Old Man Groot. Hey, we'll get to the Old Man Guardians in a little bit because that's the
Old
next
Man Quill.
It's sort of like they did X-Men, Avengers, now Guardians, and you get your Old Man universe for each one, which is, I think, super cool. And I don't know how you top that. I don't know where you go. Old Man Defenders, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it makes me wonder what's going to happen after Old Man Quill. I guess there's still some gaps you can fill in, maybe between Old Man Logan and Old Man Quill.
You know what I would want to see, though, is that teaser that you get at the end of Old Man Hawkeye. And 12.
So many people shouted that out in the Comic Con when I said we're doing this.
And I want to see that because let's see, of course, how that one person became to be that, and then how Old Man Hawkeye was able to like channel in being blind, and then because by the time you see him in Old Man Logan, obviously
he's been blind,
and he has no effect on him, and he's used to it, and he's doing his thing. Where in the Old Man Hawkeye series, he's getting blind throughout the series, and he's learning to cope with it. And then by the time it happens, of course, he's just like, what? Like he's never been blind before.
Yeah, they could definitely make a sequel to Old Man Hawkeye. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, I think some time after maybe he arrived at Logan's to like maybe him doing stuff with Logan, or maybe not even then. Maybe like I'll wait till go back to Logan. I see he has like a family or whatever. You know, like
Right.
you never know. Like there could be a sequel to Old Man Hawkeye. That'd be awesome.
Well, I think that they're primed for, at some point, in my opinion, having that revolution. I would be super pumped to see the average everyday human suffering under this horrible life in North America being led by a few remaining superheroes to actually like revolt and try to put order back where there's chaos.
That'd be awesome. Like after Old Man Quill, it'd be like a return of like the heroes to conquering the
and
evil.
They don't need to succeed. Awesome. They don't even need to succeed. It could be
just
a complete debacle and failure. But what a dramatic sort of like, you know, war almost.
God, that'd be awesome. Build up to Old Man War. Oh,
dude, yeah. It's like the French underground in World War II. They're like leading the resistance or whatever. Anyways, sorry, I don't want to get off track here.
No, yeah. We totally got ahead of ourselves, but that's awesome. That's
Old Man Hawkeye is a really cool run. I like seeing the way he is stripped away, the same way Wolverine kind of gets stripped away in Logan, where little by little he's losing the thing that he's valued most, which for Logan is like this new pacifist behavior. For Hawkeye, it's this vision, right? He's been able to see, and maybe in some sense has seen way too much. And now it's being just slowly, he's slowly losing that ability, which is motivating his kill list that Chad was mentioning a little bit ago, right? I've got to get this done while I can still target the people that are on my list.
Yeah. And there's other things that he wants to do too, like when he finds out that he's, you know, doesn't have much time seeing, you know, and he's like, all right, there's things I got to do. He's got the kill list and he's got family he wants to go see. And that sets up a whole other thing that hits you from left field, you know, with one of his family members. I was like, whoa, like,
yeah,
like that's cool. And then how did that happen? You know what I mean? And then it continues even more in Old Man Quill.
Right.
So it's
Dude, Old Man Hawkeye checks off like a lot of personal boxes of my stuff that I think is cool, like westerns. It's like a western, you know what I mean? Dude, it checks off a revenge tale. I love revenge tales. Dude, checks that off. You know what I mean? I love seeing a world where like the bad guys are the rulers, you know, and like they gotta, like the good guys gotta overcome, just getting shitted on constantly. Like,
yeah, there's this wonderful Mad Maxian kind of world going on here, where like there are all the rules of comics, at least as far as like Marvel superhero comics go, are gone. They're out the window. You're gonna see Venom attached to a Tyrannosaurus Rex. You're going to see, you know, heroes that you thought were had one kind of perspective on the world forced to be a completely different kind of person now. You're going to see villains that might have been scary and horrifying, forced to like deal with their own mortality. It's badass.
So good. It's so good.
I keep thinking of the Venom symbiote man and Multiple Man.
Bro, and think about how cool that was.
That whole sequence, both in Logan and into this one, it was
in Quill.
It was almost a throwaway in Old Man Logan. They're getting chased by a Tyrannosaurus symbiote. And the whole thing is like, where did it come from? We don't know until we get to this storyline in Hawkeye, where you get a couple of issues of symbiote drama in the middle of the desert.
Yeah. And that was a good 4 issues of stuff in there.
That was at a point where I was like tired of Venom stuff. Everything was like Venom. Then I was like Old Man Hawkeye with Venom. I'm like, yeah, dude, I love Old Man Hawkeye so much that I like cared about Venom again. You know what I mean? Like that was like before kind of Cates came back into it. We got more people back into Venom, but it was more like the tail ends before Cates took over Venom. They kept having like Venomized and all this like trash. Like I don't like Venomized or those stories. I don't think they're very good. But I was like Venom overkill, and then like Venom and Old Man Hawkeye. I was like, oh well, I'm actually in, man. I'm actually excited about it to see what they can do because I remember that T-Rex, and I was like, they gotta do something cool with that.
Yeah, they took that little throwaway like moment. It wasn't even more than a couple of pages in the original run, and they turned it into this sort of great sort of drama. And I will say Ethan Sachs clearly hates or loves Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man, because he put that guy through the freaking ringer in both Hawkeye and Quill. This guy is in this new issue of Quill.
That new issue today, man.
He's a punching bag.
Bro, easily, right? Like
he's nuts, man. Off his rocker, man. You can see like how much he digressed from Old Man Hawkeye from like the beginning of the prequel to how he is in Old Man Quill, like 2 generations like later, you know, like he's just messed up, incoherent, like all his replicas. They don't even know that they're Jamie Maddox. They don't even realize that they know that they're hungry. They just want to eat everything. That's all.
Yeah.
And they're
how
deteriorated from having the symbiote, you know, like, so there's no hunger. That's all they want. It's crazy.
Bro, to think of that. Insane.
Yeah.
You know, like when I saw that, I was like, whoa, now this is a great take and a cool thing to do with the symbiote.
He's like a zombie now, dude. He's like a zombie outbreak. He's like a personal like zombie outbreak. He can just multiply as much as he wants and just eat everything and take over the whole entire world. Like, it's so crazy that you have this like zombie multiple man in this old man world that's already terrible. Just another layer of terribleness. It's so good.
Yeah, and that's the kind of cool thing they do, where they take a hero or they take a villain and they really push them into a completely new corner, and you're getting something that's you've never seen before, which is the best part about it for me.
Dude, I want to see some World War Z action with Jamie Maddox, like just multiplying everywhere. He's this like unleash the whole fields of them, dude. I want to see some chaos, man. I hopefully we'll get to that. We'll see how it develops, man. But so far, Old Man Quill is just amazing. Do you want to go into Old Man Quill at all? Or?
Yeah, was there anything left in Hawkeye? I know we didn't talk about was it Kate Bishop at all? We didn't really get into
yeah.
her.
I mean, that was cool too, to see that relationship, you know, kind of play itself out. And I also even like how at the end she's like he's like, hey, I need your help. And she's like, nah, you're on your own.
She's like, what do you
mean? I can't see. She's like, yeah, good luck, bro.
Yeah, find your own freaking way.
So, you know.
Yeah, I think, you know, so for those that haven't read it again, the U.S. is sort of divided into sections, and each one is sort of ruled by different characters. So you have your Red Skull section, and you have your Doom, and Logan lives in the west coast of the U.S., which is like a Hulk territory. And so you kind of get glimpses of all of it. You kind of bip around. I think there's even a map in the trade for Old Man Logan you can kind of use, but I don't think there's any maps in any of these that I've seen.
Yeah, I was a little confused about. I guess, you know, the land's gone over different territorial rules. Like I believe after the Hulk,
right.
It was like Kingpin for a while, right?
Yeah.
Or did Kingpin take over Red Skull and over the whole nation? You know what I mean?
I don't think so, because Red Skull was the primary villain for the Old Man Logan storyline.
Right. But he was like pretty much the president. You know what I mean? Like he was still in charge of all the other territories. You know, he was like, even though they all had their own designated ruler, he was kind of like the president that was like, they all got to talk to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like when they said Kingpin took over, I didn't know if Kingpin took over Red Skull's position or just a territory. And then now in Old Man Quill, he took over for Kingpin. You know what I mean? So I didn't know how the ruling hierarchy went. You know, if they were.
Yeah, they definitely don't go into the bigger picture. This is definitely a micro kind of comic where they're going to focus in on Quill or Hawkeye or Logan, and they're going to get into what they're going through. And if we get glimpses into the larger, you know, political sphere, that's like a cool little glimpse. But they're never going to make that the focus, which is frustrating in some ways because you want to know more.
Yeah, but we've been getting answers though. You know, like everything that gives you a little glimpse, like you'll eventually get an answer for it, which is awesome. Exactly. It pays off. It pays off.
You can tell that they know where they're going. Ethan Sachs clearly knows what he has got outside of the little bubble we're in.
Yeah, it's great reading this because you get closure. You know, you get answers, and you get answers. It's awesome.
If I had to guess, I would want to say it's probably like territory. You know, to like what John's saying, like they're trying to keep it, you know, in the character, like real, like base in there, and they didn't really like kill off Red Skull, so I don't see why he would.
See, I was confused because I thought that they said that Kingpin killed Red Skull, and then I think they said Doom killed Kingpin. So
like issue 2 of Old Man Quill, right?
Right. I think they talk about that.
I'll have to reread. I missed that.
I think you are right.
Because it's clearly now. So if we go, let's jump into Quill. They've released 5 issues of Old Man Quill. This one goes after those other 2. We get a chance to see where were the Guardians? Why weren't the Guardians helping us out while the X-Men and the Avengers were having all their problems? Where were the Guardians of the Galaxy? And you get to see a little bit of where Quill was. And I think Quill matches well with Hawkeye and Logan in that they're compounded by enormous guilt, dealing with the weight of huge mistakes that were made and frustrations they have. And in all 3 cases, they do have a bit of a hit list of people they need to take care of or problems they need to solve. How did you guys feel about how this one sort of followed through on what the other 2 set up?
I was excited how it started because even though the first issue, a lot of people like dropped off right away, but I thought it was like an excellent setup issue. Like I knew what I was getting into, but a lot of new people didn't. So I think they dropped off at issue 1, but it was just a setup issue to get into the real meat and potatoes of like issue 2 and going forward. But like the way it started off for me, I was in because I got to see like an international viewpoint of this Old Man universe, which you only saw like just the United States. We don't even know what the rest of the world looks like yet in this Old Man universe. And now we're getting some space view and some action there, what's going on, and like those like characters that we haven't heard from, we're getting their perspective of what's happening in their life. And so it was super cool, and I was excited to get into that. You know, I want to know about those characters and what they've been up to.
No, I'm right there with you, Jason. I think the other thing that I loved about it as well is you got this Old Man Quill who, you know, the Guardians are trying to go get from this world that he kind of just dipped and left them, you know, his Guardians family, you know, and the reason why I guess he left them is because he started his own family, and that's something that was like, oh, cool. So he had a family, you know, someone that he was in love with that wasn't Gamora, kids and stuff like that. And I love the whole vendetta that he's fighting inside to, like, you know, leave or go join them and whatnot, because of course, you know, what happens to his family and what, and he's torn. And then, of course, you know, Rocket just calls him out, but he's like, yo, well, what about, you know, your other family? You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the things that hit right home here, because as Guardians fans, you were like, yo, so what happened to the fallout? You know, like, how did it happen?
We still don't know what the fallout is, you know, which is cool because we're definitely going to see it. You know, they're going to go into it.
And they've been thrown into situations now where they had to, like, you know, be a team again. Even though they have these problems that they haven't really sorted out, and they still, like, you know, jab at each other from time to time on this thing, like, you know.
So
you can tell
we have the normal Guardians crew from the films. You got your Drax, your Gamora, your Rocket, Mantis, and Groot as well, along with Star-Lord. But obviously they're a fractured, slightly different crew than we've seen before, dealing with all the issues they've been having, whether they're Quill on his planet, where he was, because he's been torn between the royal family that he's a connection to and his life as a Guardian. And he clearly, in this version of Quill, made a decision to the royal family side.
I was going to say, like, he felt torn because he has a responsibility of being the king, you know, being a king and doing his territory planet thing on a planet, over like where his heart really wants to be is with his, you know, Guardians family. But he chose to do this responsibility, but then he also chose a wife and kids and do that lifestyle. So you can tell, like, it was really hard for him to make that decision, but, you know, apparently there was a falling out that helped him make that decision. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting coming up.
So I will say, issue 1, like some of you guys were saying, I did not love it, but it was enough of a setup that I was like, okay, Ethan, I'm going to let this ride for a little bit just to kind of see where it's going. And I'm so glad I did, because issue 2 might be my favorite one in this particular run.
It was a lot of fun.
You get the Wrecking Crew. For those that don't know, they're a classic, like, Avengers villain team, which they're pretty like C Squad if you really think about it. Like, they're not particularly impressive. They're certainly not known for their smarts. They just, like, hit stuff really hard. It's kind of their strategy. And here's an example of that. This is the rated R version of what's going on in this comic. They just, like, he's going to headbutt this guy into nothing. And what's awesome is what this fight scene and the way the Guardians versus the Wrecking Crew, it's just everything I love about this comic. Right?
And these are like descendants of the Wrecking Crew. They're like, they're not even like the original Wrecking Crew, but they have like an idea, like the world's ruled by villains, and they have an idea. It's a mix,
because I think some of them are the original old ones, but most of them are the younger guys.
Yeah, I thought they were all like younger versions. Like, because I feel like a lot of them didn't know, like they know that like their villain heritage, you know. Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, we're villains, we're bad guys. This world's ruled by bad guys, and like my great grandpa was like super important, and he's like a legend, you know. But like, no one's like, who are you? You know, like, no. Even then, like the original guys, Rocket, Raccoon's like, yeah, should we tell him that, you know, his grandpa wasn't a big deal? He's like, nah, he's gonna die in like 2 seconds anyways. Don't worry about it. You know? It's like, yeah, let him have that nice stop before he dies. You know. Yeah, and they're out of practice fighting real heroes, because there just aren't any really left in this world. So to face a fully fledged Guardians hero team, it really gives you a moment of seeing, like,
when the Guardians are at their best, just don't mess with them. They're legit.
And that whole lineage thing with the villains, you even saw that in Old Man Hawkeye with the Craven family, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know, where they try to make that move on Bullseye, and they're like, oh, yeah, our grandfather is the great, you know, Craven the Hunter, and blah, blah, blah. So one of those things, once again, like, if you read the other series, when you saw it, you're like, oh, cool. Like, mirrors each other, you know?
Also, in this Old Man, like, universe, do we have those, like, the gang of, like, Ghost Riders?
Oh, that's so came from Old Man Logan. Yeah,
dude,
bro.
Did you guys read the Old Man Logan annual? It had Old Man Punisher in it.
Mm-hmm. And, like, I didn't know.
In there, it had, like, a whole gang of, like, Punisher crews, like the Sons of Punisher or something like that. And he was like, you guys are, like, slandering, like, my name, like, I'm still alive. And he just, like, wrecks them all. And, like, I think he died at the end of the issue. But, like, man, like, it was just so cool seeing, like, a Old Man Punisher, man. Like,
yeah, it's funny because Chris Barrett says, I don't think anybody can stop the Punisher even as an old man.
I recommend reading the annual, man. That was cool. Even though it's not by Ethan Sachs. It's not by Ethan Sachs, you know, but I forgot. I think it might be Ed Brisson, I think maybe. But it's worth checking out, man. It's a cool one-off, one issue, you know what I mean? One and done.
So another reason I was pumped on this run is you get this mystery sort of who is the man behind the Doom mask, because I think, and Jason and I mentioned this, but maybe Chad, you can chime in. We were both pretty much convinced because of the way he sits on the throne and we see him in just little bits. He never speaks. I'm fully convinced, I think Jason is too, it's not Victor. Do you have a thought on this, Chad?
It could be a Doom bot in his place. I mean, he's still
there are Doom bots. We've seen some
everywhere. Yeah,
the story, everywhere. Right?
So I mean, I still think it's him pulling the strings in a sense from somewhere. Could that be him? Probably not. It's got to be some sort of Doom bot because it's always like some Doom bot somewhere. But I don't think there's someone pulling the rug out from underneath Doom and then using his face to, you know, take over a land. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I get the feeling that maybe Madame Mask, who my daughter Kate rushed out this this giant encyclopedia. Madame Mask, who is right here, plays a significant part as like the main, I guess, right hand of Doom, and is kind of executing his wills and desires, whatever he wants, so that she can keep the control. If she's using him as a figurehead, she could have anybody under that mask. But you made a great comment, Chad, about Jason, about maybe like because he doesn't speak, maybe a Black Bolt.
Yeah, dude. Because like that's been my theory for a long time. As soon as I saw him like hand gesture, I was like, dude, is that Old Man Black Bolt? Did something like really twisted happen? Like, oh, dude, like that'd be so awesome. I'd be so hyped to see Old Man Black Bolt as the role as Doom for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be out there for sure. Hell dude, yeah,
I'd be so hyped. Like, because I don't feel like Doom would be a puppet unless somehow he couldn't help it. But like, who could get over on Doom? And for a while, I thought maybe like Madame Mask has some kind of like mind control abilities or something. But like, it doesn't seem like she is through her Marvel history. So not sure. Like, man, with Old Man Hawkeye, I was like, Baron Zemon's the bad guy. That's awesome. When Old Man Quill is like Doom's the bad guy, and was the Old Man Doom, like I am in, dude.
Right?
I was like super stoked.
Yeah.
Super stoked to see Old Man Doom. But like, yeah, he hasn't talked, man. So like, what is up with Doom?
Or maybe he hasn't talked because it's a situation like we saw in Old Man Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Oh, like maybe
age takes its factor, right?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
So this one also has gladiator battles. You got your Fing Fang Foom.
That was awesome.
So
that
good.
was awesome.
When they
I think that was my
brought
favorite issue.
Fing Fang Foom, it was so good.
Dude, I think that was my favorite issue. Dude.
So good.
Dude, flashed
Old Man Taskmaster.
New York. Anybody who's like a big like a post-apocalyptic future, Escape from New York is a classic. And you get the the wrestling battle, gladiator battle in that. Like I fully flashed to that.
Beyond Thunderdome, dude.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just the Coliseum battle. You saw Old Man Taskmaster. Man, yes. I love Taskmaster. And he was like bragging. He's like, yeah, I got the guy that's giving everyone trouble right here. And like, just, shit goes to hell for Taskmaster in a good way for the good guys.
I deserve a promotion.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm trying to get this promotion. It's like, it's not going his way at all. And then he completely gets flipped around, Yeah. And then, the new leader of the Coliseum, I thought that was kind of cool too, man. When that happened, I was like, And then, of course, you saw that ragtag wannabe Avengers team that they put together in the Coliseum. You know what I'm saying?
I think they were just like the prisoners. I think they were just like prisoners.
Yeah, and they just
dressed
put
them
them
up
on
in costumes.
Dress as Avengers and watch them die, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We saw a bit of that in, I want to say, Old Man Logan, where they had like a Daredevil in costume and a couple and when I originally read it, everybody was saying, no, that's actually Matt Murdock. He's dying right there. But I was firmly convinced at the time that it was somebody that they were doing as entertainment, dressing them up as heroes and killing them. This, for me, kind of confirmed for me that that was not legitimately Matt Murdock dying, because he dies so unceremoniously in that moment in Old Man Logan. I was like, there's no way somebody's blowing the shade all over my man Matt Murdock like that. That's not cool.
Dude, have we heard what happened to Ghost Rider? I know we saw the team of Ghost Riders, but I don't know if they ever mentioned what happened to like the actual Ghost Rider.
They don't.
Man, all right.
Maybe
trying to keep tabs.
He goes and becomes Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah, right.
The spirit of vengeance has moved on by this point.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what the other cosmic beings and stuff are doing during the time too. You know.
I do think there's a lot of room for this universe, and we kind of made some comments earlier about like where it could go from here.
It's just the USA. Like, what happens in the rest of the world? What's going on?
Is it Punisher Ghost Rider? Because it's like that post, you know, it's like the wasteland. Because in Cosmic Ghost Rider, he lives out, you know,
after it's been wiped out and there's nobody around.
You know, before Galactus comes. So what happens if right now it's Frank Castle Punisher roaming around the wastelands? Where's Ethan Sachs at? He's got to get that in the book, bro.
Let's make that happen.
Bro, right? And think about that, like Punisher Ghost Rider story we could read, bro. And
yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, I mean, once again, like Old Man Punisher's dead, and that happened in the Old Man Logan series. So that happens like in the Old Man time period. So he couldn't exist in the Old Man Quill area, which is a bummer. But he could exist in the Old Man Hawkeye if they do a sequel to it. So that'd be cool. So there's still hope to see Old Man Punisher.
So I'm gonna do, before we get to the very end here, I'm gonna do our giveaway. We're giving away Old Man Hawkeye #1, part 1 and 2, the 2 trades that make up these 12 issues of Old Man Hawkeye. I keep saying hot guy. I hope not. We're going to give those away. I'm going to ask a trivia question here, and then the first answer that I see, the full answer correctly spelled in the chat. I'm a teacher. I'm not going to allow for bad spelling or anything like that. The first correct answer in the chat is going to be the winner of this giveaway. We're going to ship you on Amazon those 2 trades, and you can hopefully enjoy Old Man Hawkeye and sing praises all over Instagram or wherever you pay attention. Hopefully this person can give me their contact info. I can drop you my email, or if you have Instagram, ideally you can just drop me a DM and send me your email, your home address, or wherever you want me to ship these books to. So we kind of rushed through the first storyline, Old Man Hawkeye. So my question is going to be pretty straightforward. Who is the main villain in Old Man Hawkeye? And if you can remember what we mentioned earlier and drop that name in the chat, you will be the winner for this prize, Old Man Hawkeye. And then hopefully that motivates you to go out and read Old Man Quill. It's only 5 issues deep, and you can probably find most of them at your LCS. Correct spelling, I'm out.
Hey, John, I'm going to change devices real quick, all right?
Yo, you're going to die on us.
Oh, we got a winner already.
Chris Barrett is the one I'm going to give it to.
You were close. Nobody knew.
Yeah, nobody. Bullseye is hugely important, but the real villain of that story, the one that motivates the story all along, is Mr. Baron Zemo. It was, there's definitely 2 options there. But I'm going to give Bullseye the henchman role, even though he's super badass in that story.
Bro, and he is throughout the entire story.
Yeah, he is there. He is, but he's the henchman and the man behind the throne there. But Baron Zemo is the guy I was looking for. So Chris Barrett, I believe you're on Instagram. We follow each other, so you can leave me your address there, Chris, on Instagram, and I will hook you up.
I love TJ's answer, Alex Beard.
Alex Beard, is that
always
the villain?
Always the main villain. Alex Beard is always the main villain.
Oh man, taking shots. So I really appreciate everybody for coming. We're going to talk a little bit here about this latest issue that just came out today. So today, issue 5 dropped. We get a little more time with our heroes on Earth. And we get a little glimpse into, I guess you could say, Old Man Sam Alexander, right? Old Man Nova,
which is cool.
Yeah. So what did you think about today's issue?
I mean, just like these issues prior, I feel like it just continues to get better. They keep throwing in characters that not necessarily characters, but characters that the comic book, community loves. Like you got Guardian as well, kind of like trying to make his move, against this Guardians of the Galaxy team.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this cover and I was like, ooh, Old Man Guardian's going to get a big part to play. And he doesn't really show up all that much.
Yeah, I know. And they teased him in that issue before. So that means they have to be setting him up, for a little more.
Yeah.
To come.
The villain in this storyline, I mean, there's several. We got Doom, but it seems to be the overarching villain is this evil galactic church.
Yeah.
That's kind of out there doing horrible things on a universal sort of galaxy level. And Guardian is sort of their, I don't know, thug, their head.
Yeah, he's like the policing their, I guess their will on whoever they want and try to, it's either you're joining the church or you're dying. Like that's what it seems like, and he seems to be the guy leading that charge for the church.
So Jason, while you were gone, we decided we're going to jump right into the 5th book that came out, the issue that came out today, to talk a little bit about that. We got our Sam Alexander Nova. We were talking about this evil church and Guardian, who has kind of been in the background because we haven't really gotten a whole lot of him yet. What did you think of today's issue?
Dude, we had old lady Vision. That was cool.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Dude, her head's all messed up. She's like missing an eye and like part of her head's just gone. Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, I think Alec will. I'm going to snap a photo of that just to send it to Alec. He's a big Vision fan.
I think they hinted at like, I guess they said they're the religious people or whatever. They said they like dominate like what giant like universes or what they say they took over like big huge giant galaxies and stuff too. I guess they conquer more than just worlds.
Yeah.
So they in this issue they hinted that like as who or what it's connected to, or that as doing that. I'm thinking.
So we get to see Nova Prime, right? The planet, and they are defending themselves against the current onslaught. They've moved. This organization, this church, is sort of moving through the galaxy, and they're now targeting Nova Prime. And there is Sam Alexander and his Nova Corps fighting back a wave of attack. But I did feel like this issue left a lot of question marks for me, almost too many, in that it was very clearly like a setup for other stuff. I don't think they gave us the definitive answer, but I feel like I have a very strong inkling as to the evil being behind the throne of the church.
We're gonna get Old Man Galactus, bro.
Right?
We're getting Old Man Galactus, dude. It's so awesome.
It's gotta be, right?
Dude, it's gotta be Old Man Galactus. This religious cult or whatever, they have to have like some way controng Old Man Galactus.
Because
sick.
How you that make Guardian the new the new Silver Surfer, the Herald of Galactus? Is Guardian now the Herald of Galactus?
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Maybe we'll get like Old Man Silver Surfer instead of Galactus, but like that would be cool though to get like I don't know either one I'd be down for. That's so sick.
Did you now, Chad? When you read it, did you have the exact same inkling that they're hinting at Galactus here?
I mean, like you said, they're taking over galaxies. You know what I'm saying? And it's more than just planets. So it's like, okay, what type of cosmic being could possibly do that? Or there's only one that comes to mind. So no, for sure, the same thing.
Dude, it's got to be because like all you saw like with that war page was like they had a bunch of ships. It's like yeah, okay, but like how are you gonna take over such large territories without having a cosmic being that you control? So I think it's got to be Galactus or Silver Surfer or something like that, man, dude. That's
I don't know if we only have just Chris and no one in the chat, but they are slaying it in there. The Church of Scientology. Where's Old Man Dick Rider? Why doesn't it's Intergalactic Church? Old Man Infinity Gauntlet is next. TJ is still in there. Sounds like the last season of the Stargate TV show. All right. I have never watched the TV show, but the original film is really good.
I love that film.
So, yeah, I mean, this one obviously spends a little bit more time on Earth with our Guardians and dealing with this Jamie Madrox outbreak of faux zombies, where they're just like, the hell on earth of someone with Jamie Madrox's powers when they lose their sanity, right?
And he doesn't even have the symbiote anymore, so now he's just like crazy. You know, he's straight crazy.
So the reason I didn't love this one, I really liked it, is that it just felt like a lot of setup and only a little bit of payoff. Whereas most of these issues, I was saying before we went live, most of these issues have like so much payoff, and they just offer more questions that only make you want to dive in more, and there's just more. This one felt like, where's the more? I was like waiting for the meat of the story to really hit.
Yeah, I guess this one was pretty much I don't know, it just built up to like that fight at the end in the church with the zombie multiple mans, I guess. But yeah, I could see what you mean on that. Yeah, there's like wasn't so many answers. I guess it was more like just building up a lot more questions, and introducing characters. You got General Viv Vision, you got Alexander Novacor, and then just I guess hinting at the big threat. But yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
They also hint at like a foot soldier for her. Like Viv Vision has this masked hero that I couldn't recognize flying through the air. Did you notice this one? I
don't think so. You want to show me?
Yeah. I couldn't figure out who this character was. She says, "Do we have anybody out in the wild looking for these guys?" Where is she? Sorry about this. Yeah. So she's talking, and this guy's flying overhead.
Oh, that's he works for the church.
He does, because he's flying right over her encampment.
Yeah, he's like,
and then later,
he's kind of like almost like a satellite or a drone. He's like kind of looking over.
She sends a signal here saying, "Hey, we got to send." There's
and he intercepts it though, is what it is.
Is that what that's how? Okay, so this being, because we don't know who this guy is. This guy's fully masked the whole time. I've never seen his uniform.
He's an agent of the church. You can. I think he reports towards the church towards the end. I think,
and then
he's the one. He's the one that attacks him at the end. Yeah. So the church was looking for Quill, but now they found him at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at the end, so that's the bit I was confused. I was like, "What's going on here with this guy? Is this somebody else? I got to try to guess who this character could be."
Yeah, because it seems like Viv and like her, like I guess little rebel society, where I guess they have a hologram or something that hides them. But like that thing wasn't even looking for them, He was just looking for Quill. He's just like roaming around, and they happened to signal out, and he caught the interception. He's like, "Okay, well now I know where Quill is." Gotcha.
Okay. Well, that was it for me. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to mention about this run, about this series, about what? I mean, obviously we've bragged about it a lot as far as go get it. But was there anything else?
Read it. Go get it. Go read it. It's amazing. Dude. I hope we can do this again. I know it may be impossible for us to make this a regular thing because all three of us are crazy busy.
We can do a wrap up when it ends, though, of course.
Yeah, we should do that for sure.
When it ends, we could definitely make that happen without a doubt.
Yeah,
or and then we'll if you guys ever want to talk about it one Wednesday before KomiKhan Unlimited, you can come on my show because I'll probably be talking about it again next week. Because I can't wait. It's just so good, man. And I would love to possibly, maybe I can throw this on, Story KomiKhan. We should do Old Man Logan.
Dude, it's not awesome.
Old Man Logan. We should do Old Man Logan on Story KomiKhan. I think that's a title we got to throw out there because I know, we've been throwing some other things out there, but I think that's one that we should do, bro, because
that'd be cool.
That's a story. I think it's in the history books.
Yeah, I think it's like Planet Hulk or even this Immortal Hulk run that's working right now as far as something that's going to be iconic and and they tried to make a decent movie out of it. And they didn't do a bad job, but it's just so completely world building, and that's so amazing.
It's really terrible how many people like crap on it. Like they're like, "Oh, old man, I'm tired of old man stuff." They have no idea because most of them haven't even read it. They just see the title, like, "Oh, yeah, old man." Like if you read
Old Man Harley,
Wolverine,
I think Old Woman Harley is hurting it. Like it's like now
yeah,
everybody's doing it.
They're just making fun of it, you know. I mean, that's the whole entire point of the Harley comic is like a female Deadpool, pretty much, like breaking the fourth wall, you know, just joking about it. So like, yeah, it's like a little jab at the old man universe that Marvel's doing, but it's DC's version, and it's really done really bad because it's a bad writer that does the Harley ones, you know. They're not good, but you know, I mean, it's still fun seeing that world either way, but no one can do it as Marvel.
Kristen,
did with
no
Old Man
one,
Wolverine.
man. They're just still going, and they're like Old Man Cable, Old Man Infinity Warps, Geriatric Amalgam, Old Lady Harley crossover, Old Man Civil War.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see Old Man Cable. I don't know. Yeah, there's so many characters you can do stuff with, and we don't know who's alive and who's dead. We know who's like dead so far.
Obviously, the
to a certain
big
point, but
heroes, right? The big ones that would come to the rescue have either died or been turned or been, you know, put out of commission in some fashion. So it's
pretty much the Avengers,
street level guys and gals that I want to see. Where are they? Did they survive the purge?
Yeah, like where's Luke Cage and stuff? You know, like Iron Fist and
definitely,
Because I mean, we're pretty sure like Spider-Man died, right? Pretty sure Spider-Man's dead.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I think if they're a big name A-lister, they're probably dead.
Yeah.
And it's really those B-C list heroes. That's kind of the fun of the world. It's like populated with B-list characters now.
Yeah. Where like the old A-list villains are ruling.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's no Thor going to come to your rescue right now.
Dude, this series is just in general so underrated, man. I really hope more people like jump on this. And I congratulations to the winners today who won the Old Man Hawkeye volumes, man. You're in for a treat. It's so good. And like, I'm really looking forward to our wrap up whenever the series is done, because then we can speculate where are they going to go, what's going to happen next. You know,
by then they might even be announcing it, because I know when Hawkeye finished, they were already announcing Quill.
That'd be awesome. I'd be so happy.
Well, Jason, thank you for joining me. Chad, you guys rock. Did you want to shout out anything coming up on your channel that people should check out for? Your links, the links to these guys' channels is in the description.
Remember, YouTube is 90, so I'm always doing something. So tomorrow night, you can check me out on my channel, 90MF Comics. We're doing Review and a Half Shell. We're talking Turtles. You make sure you want to be in the chat for that, because we're talking Shredder and Hell issues 1, 2, and 3, which came out today. You can always find me on MCE on That Geek Show on Monday nights. That's the MCE channel. Marvelous Collectibles and Entertainment. We're always talking everything geek related. Right after that, Story Comic Core on the Comic Core channel. Wednesday nights, 90MF Comics. We got Immortal Talk with Jeff, Symbiote Talk on my channel, Detective Talk on Comic Head 84. I'm all over the place.
You need a couple more shows, Chad.
Just be subscribed so that way when I go live, you know. And I'm almost at 300, so who knows? Maybe I'll do a little giveaway there. But cool and awesome news. I actually did get a sponsorship today with a local comic book shop down here called Secret Society Comics and Gauntlet Comic Books. Down in North Miami is Gauntlet Comic Books, and Secret Society is in Sunrise Comics. It's owned by the same guy. They actually donated a Naomi #5 and an Immortal Hulk issue 17 that I gave away on my channel on the live. So go watch the live feed. Find out how you can go win these 2 books. We'll be announcing the winner next week on my channel. So make sure you guys go check that out. Shout out to Secret Society Comics, man. Those guys are awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jason, what's coming up for you this week, man?
Dude, for me, I love just doing our show on Wednesdays, bro, on Comic Core, man. You know,
dude,
that's the only time that I love just doing the live interaction, man. You know, I don't really have any plans to make any live videos on my own channel anytime soon. I might do one on my collection of Batman with guns. I might do that. But I have some stuff coming
I'm waiting for a good vinyl record breakdown thing with you.
Kenny told me to do that for Comic Head 84. He told me to do that one on a new comic book day, or new, what was it, record store day. And I almost did that, and then the wife came home. We had to do some stuff, but I was going to do that, but it would take forever, man. It would really take a long time going through all my records.
I have a fair amount too. So if you want to team up at some point, I know that my taste is very different than yours, but and most of my stuff is at least 15 to 20 years old, but I definitely have a fair amount of vinyl.
Awesome. Yeah, we should do that, man. Like, most of my stuff is purchased brand new, but I do have a collection of used albums as well. I have a bunch in the garage too.
Turntable talk.
Yeah, man, totally. I don't know. I kind of want to do. Because the whole reason I got into YouTube was to talk about comic books. I don't really get to do that, like unless I'm appearing on someone else's show, But I might start doing that on my own. I want to have like a comic story time of myself,
Cool.
I might get a panel together, talk about stuff that I like Gideon Falls or like Kill or Be Killed. I want to do those, and so maybe I'll work on that.
Awesome.
Getting that, but yeah. How about you, John? You got a lot going on too.
Thankfully, this week has been full, so I'm very blessed with work. I got Thursday night. Tomorrow night. I'm on the Comic Core. We're going to talk about Game of Thrones, a big episode on Sunday, and then I got Saturday morning comics with my girls. And then next week we'll be back on, I think, Alex's channel for Comic Book Day, New Comic Book Day Book Club. I have no clue what the book is. I don't think Alec and I even decided on it yet. We're not quite sure what we want for next week. So you'll have to watch us on Instagram, and we'll let you know what the upcoming book will be.
Does it have to be a number one, or are you going to do like Little Bird 3?
We try to do number ones as best we can, or at least the beginnings of story arcs and things. It just is easier for people to jump on and join in. With Little Bird, I think we're waiting for the whole series to wrap.
Okay.
We'll when the 5th. I think
it's 5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 5. Yeah.
We'll do the whole thing, I think,
Okay.
or we'll do a separate stream just about it, because I know that's going to be.
That's a good idea.
Definitely have to happen.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm looking forward to read that finally. So I'm gonna do that later tonight or tomorrow. But yeah,
Well,
dude, thanks for having me, dude.
Issues 1 and 2 coming his way here soon.
I'll find a 3 somewhere down here. I know an LCS now that's hooking me up. Secret Side.
Nice.
I'll go talk to them. They'll be able to pull me one somehow. So.
Well, thanks everybody with the chat for joining us. If you like the show, hit us with a like or subscribe to some of these channels. You might really enjoy them. Chris Barrett, hit me up on Instagram, and I will see you guys again here soon. So long.
Thanks again, John.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks, John.